Howdy, gamers, and welcome to Checkpoint Reached, a weekly show where we discuss a topic in gaming with some occasional news stories, some movie and TV quotes, and just some random life rants. Thank you so much all for joining us. I am your host, Lex, along with the wonderful, spunky co-host of mine, Ernie.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say one who is, in fact, the one with impeccable taste.
The one with impeccable taste, dude. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, dude. I'm doing lovely. I was just telling you before we started recording that I had a little tapatio, and my tongue is I'm starting to feel it now, and it's boiling right now. So you'll see me drink a little bit of water. But what were you
Does
saying?
that mean you're gonna be a silver tongue devil on this episode?
A little bit.
With fire
The words that
takes,
coming
I
out of
hear.
my mouth are gonna be. Damn, you got it fast.
Hey,
Fast.
me and you, this
You're
guy,
quick. You're quick.
I go to the moon, he brings me
He
back down
brings
to
me
earth.
back. But yeah, dude, it's good to see you. How are you, my friend?
Good. I'm good, man. I know last week I was a little sick, and I'm feeling great. Thank goodness. I thank the
That's
maker,
right.
as they
Yeah.
say. I feel great. Um, ready to start today's team. I'm kidding. Final, ready to take it on, dude. I'm ready for the episode. I'm excited, dude, to chat with you. And it always feels like it's so long, but it's funny because we pretty much chat all the time. But I have a little something to confess here, everyone.
Oh,
Ernie left me on red all weekend, dude. I tried
I
talking to him,
did.
dude. He said,
Yeah,
hey, this guy. I'd send him some funny things, and hours later, he'd text me
yeah.
back, and then I would say, I don't even remember what I said. Just even though the message is right there. No, I'm
It's
kidding. I know
funny.
you're busy for your wife's birthday.
Yeah, I
How
was.
was it?
So,
How was everything? Everything was good.
so yeah, busy weekend. It was my wife's birthday weekend. I actually warned Lex. Hey, just let you know.
I know.
I'm gonna be busy this weekend, because things are gonna happen. And as funny as what I ended up doing was, because I was able to be on my phone, but I couldn't reply because obviously I have to spend time and do stuff. And so, I took off the recipient red thing because I didn't want people to get mad at me. Well, it's you and my wife get mad at me if I don't reply. So I did it, and I was like, I'm just gonna do that. And then Carlos later on, Lex freaking confronts me about it, and I was like, God, it would be him to do it too. But yeah, so great. Yeah, go ahead.
I like your second wife. That
I
sounds
know,
like
Dude, yeah, but yeah,
I'm
great
worse,
weekend.
dude, honestly.
I know. And I keep coming back for the abuse is what it is. I don't know.
Back.
Yeah, but yeah, great weekend, dude. We had a lot of fun. We changed the plans a little bit here and there, but we had a great dinner. Food was all right. We went to get some sushi at some particular area, and we've had it before, and it was really good. I was telling Lex I was raving about it at one point because when we first had it, it was really good. What?
Raving through the night.
Raving through the freaking Maurice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we were discussing this, and I asked my wife because I thought it was okay. It wasn't like the best thing. I am a sushi connoisseur. If those who don't know, I'm just joking. No, I'm not. But so we had a great little dinner. It was expensive, bro. It was like $400. It was crazy. And so
this is Harryhausen's?
Dude, honestly, it was a Fogo, or was that a place from
Fugu? He was a Fugu from
there you go. That's the thing I didn't reply to you back in the audio, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, so we went there. We did a few other things for her birthday, and then on Monday, because I didn't get her a cake because they do a little birthday thing at that place where they give her a little ice cream and they do a whole song and it's like blaring, and she didn't realize anyone knew about it, and everyone's all looking. It's all, they like turned off the music and the lights, and it's all. Oh
dang! It's like that.
It was pretty cool. It was neat. And so we did that, and I felt bad that I didn't get her a cake or anything. So on Monday, I went to go get her a Cinnabon. She likes Cinnabons, and we had to pretend because we didn't have candles. So I lit up a freaking what's the lighters that are like the long sticks ones? They're just called lighters, right? There's no.
They're like kitchen lighters.
Kitchen lighter. So I just lit that up, and she blew that.
I mean,
which was cool. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I think she had a wonderful birthday experience. But yeah, dude, like Lex said, I kind of avoided him at the moment, but I wasn't. I ended up texting him what was it, later that night? Yeah, I said something
later that night. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 hours later.
No, it's fine, dude. I knew it. I knew. It's okay.
You did, but then it's funny is when you were texting or whatever, you all of a sudden kind of stopped at one point too. So I was like, okay, then we're good to go. I don't have to check on him. He's fine. He's watching the bloody beetroots. He's watching the bloody beats. He's good to go. He's dancing with the cowboy. You know what I mean? He's doing what he's got to do.
Dancing with the cowboy. Kind of like Patrick, in SpongeBob. What do y'all? SpongeBob goes, "Hey, what are you gonna do when I'm gone?" I'm gonna be like, "I'll wait for you to come back."
Why I said the cowboy thing? was because every time I see like a rave or anything, there's always someone with a little cowboy hat.
I mean, it's the
Whether
staple, right? It might
I
be
know
like,
it's
yeah.
whether it's sparkly or whatever. I know one of the friends of the channel. He wore a little sailor suit or whatever. I think you've told me the story,
Yes,
which is
yes.
pretty sweet. Sweet
It
guy.
was pretty awesome.
Shout out to him. I don't know if you want to say his name. It
We
was his
won't ask him
birthday.
because I don't know. Maybe he wants to forget about that time of his life. No, I'm kidding.
No, I know, but it was his birthday. But I don't know if you want to say happy
No, dude, I'm
birthday to the
glad.
guy.
I'm glad it was good times. Um, Mine wasn't that crazy, but I had a good weekend as well. Now that
Yeah,
you asked,
I
it wasn't
did.
my
How was
birthday.
it? How was it
Uh,
without me for
it was fine, dude. It
for
was
the
fine. I just,
fine, huh? Only
I, I drew a picture of you on my wall. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
No, it was good, dude. And I'll get into it, what happened, like, what I did, and because it has to do with the game, actually. Before we get into that, I kind of want to just talk about some breaking news here. It's not much breaking, but I don't think we addressed it last week. But the Switch 2 pre-orders finally went up. I think it was last week anyway.
Yeah,
And I heard a couple stories from podcasts I listened to. They were talking about um, how it was kind of a pain, like some things they couldn't get through, and a lot of the issues with like it gets in checkout, which we've gone through that. We know how that feels for some things. Um, but what I heard, the funny thing is that I heard GameStop was the way to go. Like
that
the
is
GameStop,
crazy.
yeah, like people would line up, and there, I guess someone like had said like, oh, they still have a bunch of pre-orders available here if you want to come down to like someone I listened to, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like I didn't get one, obviously, I didn't really care to, but
Yeah.
hey, if you got one, congratulations, because it comes out like the month, right? Like June.
Yeah, in
Um,
June. Yeah, dude. I saw that. I saw it too. It was funny because this is the first time that I recall like going for a pre-order and just seeing them go. Like I was seeing them and I was like, I could click this and do it, but I'm like, I don't need to. I don't want to. And it was cool. I mean, they sold out like crazy. I know people were
of
complaining about the
course, yeah,
pricing. Put the price down, and it's like all those people bitching about it ended up getting it anyways. Which
exactly. They're
you know,
gonna do
I,
it.
I understand. It's like you want the newest thing, and I'm gonna get it as well. I know I was a little reluctant, but I'm gonna get it eventually. I told
Yeah.
Lex for my birthday, I'm gonna probably ask for a bunch of like gift cards to something. That way, I could just ease the blow of getting that console because I don't normally do it. Like Lex and I usually don't wait. Like we get ourselves the console like right away. Like we don't really
Hmm.
wait, right?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was crazy, bro. I heard the same thing. I heard GameStop was really good, and then I also heard that Target. No, wait, sorry, Walmart was the way to go as well. But I might
Hmm.
have been wrong. This is like from my circle of Twitter that I've seen or X, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah,
Because
I
yeah,
feel
like
like, sorry, when it's like available on like a Sam's Club or a Costco, I feel like that's always pretty easy as well. Because like not a lot of
yeah,
people are going there. Fun like not
I
a lot of
think
people think to those places, right? They think for the bigger
yeah.
retailers because they have a better chance. But then sometimes you
Supposedly,
don't forget the little guys. And I'm actually that's why I was like GameStop is really surprising because I saw pictures how they had like signs saying like we have this many of the regular version and the bundle this many to pre-order, which I think that's great. I mean it's cool because it's fun because I know we talked about it in our GameStop edition episode, but like the thrill of like lining up and like to get like a pre-order or something like or the release day, you know what I mean? Because now everything's comes to your mail, but it's like man, that nothing beats that touch, right? I mean, obviously, I love getting my stuff in the mail too, but you just never know. It's scary because you might not be home, dude, and then
yeah,
little porch pirates come, dude, and they
dude,
get you.
yeah, I
Today it
know.
was funny. We
So,
had like a bunch of stuff come for some reason. Today we had a
mhm.
bunch of packages, and we were both at work, my girlfriend and I came home. I was like, damn, okay, it's funny. We have a bush in front of our house, and two packages were behind the bush. Two of them were right in the front where everyone to see. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand,
No,
but
I know, yeah, yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
funny that
I don't know that job, so I know it's rough, but
yeah, I saw this thing where Costco is like their pre-orders are not available yet. Their pre-orders are going to become like available at a later time because they're doing a bundle, and I think it's going to be like an extra $100, but you'll get like I think it's like Nintendo Switch Online, a game, or an extra controller, something like that.
that.
And so I think that's probably going to be like a really great deal
Mhm.
if you end up getting it. Like it might be a little difficult, but I don't, dude. This is the thing, Lex. I don't foresee this game being,
This game
or
or
I mean, this
console?
console. Sorry, this
Mhm.
console being like sold out. Like I know it's sold out right now for pre-orders. It might be some time, but it's not going to be like a PS5, Xbox Series X style of like pre-order because like at the end of the day, like we're not in COVID anymore. It's or we're not like low on things. Maybe the tariffs might change all that. I don't know,
Yeah.
but we should be able to get a console. It's not like we're gonna be stranded without anything.
It's funny. I mean, talking about Costco, I remember back like when I was a little younger, my mom, we'd always go to Costco with her. And I remember seeing games that were new, and I freak out because they were always like $7 cheaper. I think it was like instead of 49.99, it was like 42.99. Is that $7? Am I mathing? Yes. And I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get my game here. Look how cheap it is. it's little kid mentality. Just trying to save a kick, but I wasn't paying for it anyway, right? I mean, I was working to pay for it, but your little allowance taking out the trash, easy, little
Yeah,
odd
of
jobs.
course.
Um,
Little odd jobs.
and I think I've only bought maybe like 2 games in my lifetime at Costco because I just don't go to Costco often enough to go get a
Yeah.
game. I'm like, "Hey, mom, let's go to Costco to get a game." She's like, "Well, I'm gonna make a trip out of it." I'm like, "But I just want to play my game."
That's
Um,
funny. I don't think I've ever bought a game at Costco. I've bought like gift cards or I mean, what are they called? Like the PSN Plus
yeah, they
cards
used
and
to, and
like
I remember the
Roblox and
games
stuff like
came. I don't
that
know
for my
why,
nephews.
but it'd be the game, and then the cardboard would be like all the way down here, so it'd be like a long rectangle. I don't know what it was about Costco that does that. I don't know if you recall
Yeah.
this, and I was like, it
Yeah,
was
I
so
do.
weird.
They still do it. But I don't even think they give you the game. I think it's just a cardboard cutout. And then you take it up and they're like, let me go get the game. And then it's like some lady with a lot of keys
Yeah, I
that
think
goes,
you're right.
and she walks and then
Yeah,
opens it,
yeah, yeah.
She goes,
That's that's
with the little wire, it goes, just
because
kidding. I
that's what
don't
they
think
did
that's
with
funny.
the subscriptions and memberships or stuff too. I remember that. I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy my movie tickets here. Be right back." And
Yeah.
they'd have to walk super far. It's like to their little cage, and I don't know what they're doing in there. But yeah.
Yeah. To the little
Um,
gauge.
no, but I know. It's funny because I had actually
Okay.
bought my Switch OLED from Costco. I remember it was a deal. Remember I told you it was Mario
Oh,
Day,
that's right. I
March
thought it
10th.
was Sam's that you did it at. I didn't recall it
It
was
was Sam's,
Costco.
yes. My
Oh, okay.
apologies. Um, but yeah, it was like it came with the OLED Switch. It came with gosh, however much memory. It was a big memory card, a case, and a controller, and I got it for like $300. It was like a great deal. And only played it once. No, again, I played it for a while, but I kind of stopped. I fell off. But it's more my girlfriend's. But anyway, that wraps up the Switch 2. If you got a Switch 2, good for you. We'll see how the future holds as far as what Ernie's thoughts. If it's going to be a little abundance, I feel like there's going to be like a little slowdown for at least the first month or two, and then I feel like we're going to start seeing some more. But
Yeah.
like you said, I think they're gonna come out probably in waves. I would assume. Um,
Yeah, I can't wait to switch it up, honestly. Switch from the first to the second
dang,
one. You like that? I hope
he's
they do
good, dude.
some marketing. There you go.
Little finger hands there.
Switch it up. I think I'm gonna make a little TikTok video. I'm gonna try to be part of the TikTok Lex family that he's doing. He's doing a little TikTok
I'm
family.
trying.
Yeah, he's trying and go please go subscribe or whatever it's called on TikTok. But I'm gonna make a little video and I'm like, the switch up. Then
You're gonna be
something
like,
cool like
ding,
that.
ding. What was that one when they do the? I don't even know what it was. I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
don't know the
I know
show.
what you're talking about, but I think I'm just gonna use the Imagine Dragons song, the one that I told you. Make it up, make it up.
Oh yeah. That's good.
All
That's
right,
good.
good. Continue. I
So let's go
apologize.
ahead and jump into the next segment here. The hot subject here. What are we playing for this past week, Ernie? I would like for you to get into it, please, because I kind of have a bit to talk about. So you have the
Yeah, of
floor.
course. Please, thank you. So I've been still playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. As I stated before, I've had a busy weekend, so it's been a little more difficult for me to play games. But when I was able to, I played maybe about like 30 minutes, an hour here and there throughout the week, and it was fun, man. It was a great time. Valhalla is a lot, and I think this is what inspired this episode that you're about to listen to. I won't spoil it until you get there. You're gonna read the YouTube channel video title, but uh, I don't want to spoil it now. So I've been playing that. I'm still having a good time. I cannot wait to progress. I feel like I'm kind of stagnant, and I'm doing a lot. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm doing a lot, but I still feel stagnant. I feel like there should be more here, but I'm still doing the same kind of same old stuff. And then I think that's the issue with these games. I think they're too long and they don't have any substance. Personally, there's been some great moments. Don't get me wrong, but it's been like a grind and not a good one, to be honest with you. It's enjoyable, but not like The Witcher 3. How I was like, man, this is fantastic. What I'm doing is so good. But yeah, and the other game that I've been playing, because I've been spending some extra time with my wife. She took the weekend off. Someone had recommended this to her, and I had been telling her about my D&D sort of story of Lex and I going to play D&D and how what it's about and all that stuff. and she told me, "Is there like a way to play D&D or something like that?" And I told her we can play Baldur's Gate 3, right? And she's like, "What's that?" And I told her what it was, and then one of her coworkers told her as well, and was giving her his take on it and like what he chose and what he did. So she's like, "Well, if you want to play it," and I'm like, "Okay." Well, so I set it up for us. I was excited. I'm a nerd. I love that kind of stuff. I was excited to play with my wife. I love playing games with her. But Baldur's Gate is a game that I've always wanted to get into. Lex knows that it's just kind of hard because I don't want to play it by myself, and also it's such a long ass game that it's like you got to put your time into it and a lot of effort. And I think having my wife want to play it with me just made me want to play it even more. So I set it up. I put it on the PS5, started playing it, got her character going. She had a great time, creating her own character. The only difficult thing that I will say it's not as easy because the way that they kind of explain it, the way that they kind of explain the game is that you have these attributes and you have to be this particular style of a person. You could be a bard, you could be all that, and if you don't know what that really entails, I mean, you could read it, but it's still kind of you don't know how it's gonna be when you're playing the actual game. So I just kind of told my wife, this is what I'm doing. If you want to play like this is what I suggested. I forget what she ended up being at the top of my head right now. So we ended up playing. We played a few times now. We got to this one point in the game, bro, where we went down into this like sort of dungeon I shot a box and it opened a hole. Got in there. Right when I got in there, dude, I started getting attacked by like 5 different dudes and girls, like a mix of like this other raid group that was down there, and they just started messing us up, bro. This barbarian, dude. It was a really cool moment to do. My wife came down, started trying to help, dude, and she's still trying to figure out the controllers. The good thing it's an RPG, so you take your time to figure out what you need to do. It's not like Claire Obscure or Expedition 33 where it's like you got to kind of like move still. It's like Paper Mario. So she had time to think, but they still messed us up, and then we finished the game, and then later on this is what I thought was awesome was later on. So we were like, oh, we're just gonna stop here for now, and I'm like, all right, no worries, we'll stop here because we died, right? And then she later on texted me, she's like, what do you think we should do? Or I think she was talking to me, she's like, what do you think we should do?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? That's how it got her, right? And I was like, honestly, I think we should just throw fireballs at them. And then she's like, I think we're gonna have to try what you're saying. And then so we did it, and it worked, and we progressed to the story, and it's been fun, dude. She hasn't told me anything ever since now. I mean, the weekend's over. Obviously, I have to wait for this weekend to play with her a little bit more. Maybe she'll want to play, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know. I know we are gonna probably go watch the Thunderbolts this weekend, hopefully. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that too in the dungeon. I know it's exactly what you're talking about. It's like you get bombarded by a lot of people. But yeah, as you're playing those games, it's so cool because like in the character creation, if you're gonna choose like a preset character and not make your own, they're so detailed, right? Like when you go over them, they like have a whole story, and like the voice actor like speaks for you. It's pretty awesome. But I think it's also funny too. Like I think about this, and this is for anyone. Like you probably could tell her like, "Hey, like, there's this game called Baldur's Gate 3 I want to play." She's like, I'm good. Maybe." But her coworker says that she starts talking about it, like, "Wait," or he or whatever, and says like, she's like, "Hey, remember this game?" And you're all, "Yeah, it's the game I've been telling you about. Let's play it."
Yeah,
That's
how it
happened
is,
to me
dude.
before. I know, and I've done the same thing before, vice
Yeah.
versa. Which is awesome. I'm glad you're playing it, dude. I really want to get back into it. Um, I don't know if I would restart it. I probably will, but I mean, I'm not too far, so I don't think I should. But
Yeah.
it's a great game. It is a great game.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun playing co-op, I'll be honest with you. I think the game is cool, and I played it by myself for like a little bit, and was the beginning of it, and I think I had a good time kind of figuring it out, but I think playing with someone and kind of seeing their experience, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, when you and I were playing together, I got that same experience where it's like, what should we do here? Like you get these like kind of sort of like, guides of like, should you want to do this perception check or all that stuff. And I was like, dude, co-op is so much fun. I strongly suggest that if anybody ever wants to get in Baldur's Gate and you have like someone that you want to play with, whether it's a friend, a significant other, a what have you, your dog, I don't know. It's fun. It's definitely worth it. I'm like excited to continue to play. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how she ends up feeling about it. But Lex, I know you said you have quite a bit of games, I should say. I don't know if it's just one or two games to talk about. Now
I
let's
do, I
go ahead. Go
do.
ahead.
Now,
I do.
now, last week I said I was in a gaming rut. I didn't know what to do. But after this past weekend, buddy, my friend that I've been playing, Jamie, shout out to the Jamie in the cast, friend of the cast, friend of the channel.
Yeah.
We've been playing Split Fiction. We met up because he said he's like, I want to play in like the game, next to you. I think it'll be really fun. So we did, and we ended up beating it. We had about maybe like 2.5 hours or so left of the game. So Split Fiction's done. I think it took us about 13 hours to finish. Um, dude, great game. I recommend this game to anyone who's looking for a co-op. It's challenging, it's fun. There's a lot of troll moments. Like one area we were in, we are just like both were like head scratching, like, what do we do? And then like after we figured it out, like, oh my gosh, this makes a lot of sense. But it doesn't tell you that. You have to kind of figure it out. But let me tell you, dude, the end of it, that game is so trippy. Um, and I don't really want to spoil it here. But dude, I think it's a great game. Like I said, the story is kind of predictable. You kind of see where it's gonna go, but it's not really about that. It's about the gameplay and like the journey to it. And it is worth it. This is I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with the Hazelight games. I'm still almost done with It Takes Two. I haven't finished it. I mean, It Takes Two is great, but I think this game already, just playing that, it was just so much better. I do want to play the other ones. I know Way Out. I think Brothers also is one that I want to try from
Brothers is
Hazelight
one
Studios.
too. I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
I think so. But dude, it's fantastic. I recommend Ernie, if you when you guys finish, like, you should play that game. And I know you keep I know you're gonna wait to Mr. Impeccable Taste tells you, your buddy.
Of course.
It's gonna
Call
be like,
Golden
how I
Rule.
just said, like, oh, someone else has to tell you. Because
Yeah.
if I tell you, you're gonna be like, nah, this guy don't know
No,
what he's
no,
talking
no.
about.
No, no,
But
no. I definitely no. I think I said it in one of the audios that I sent you, but I definitely want to play it. It's just it's not
no,
in the wheelhouse, right? It's not like the one of the next games that I definitely want to play, but I
definitely.
do want to play it. I was telling my wife about it, and it was funny because like I told you when we were playing Baldur's Gate, we died, and she's like, "Do you want to play another game?" Because she was kind of felt defeated, not remembering. But
Mm,
I think later on, she's like, "Oh, we should try this." But yeah, like I wanted to ask you this random question, but or I guess it pertains to this, but how was the split screen in Split Fiction? Like, was it cool? I know it was like
it's
being
like It
next to your
Takes Two.
buddy. Yeah, but so it's the same thing. It doesn't.
It's the same. Yeah, then when you're
Oh,
together,
okay.
it doesn't change. No, it's split screen all the way.
But it ran well. Like there was no
Oh
issues with
yeah,
the
dude.
split screen.
Honestly, I don't we might have had one connection issue when we joined in, but that was probably on our end. But other than that, dude, it ran great. Never ran into any bugs. It looks fantastic. So yeah, dude, I 100% recommend. Is that what the question you were asking? I don't know if you were, yeah, right?
No, that was my question. I just wanted to know how the split screen worked because I know It Takes Two. I think the split screen is actually pretty solid. It has its moments of like here and
It's a
there
little
where it kind of
wonky.
gets a
Yeah,
little wonky. Yeah, but
I
for
think
the most part,
I
it
think it
works.
works better. But I mean, again, like it's like when I play It Takes Two, I play with my girlfriend. She's not much of a gamer, but when I play with Jamie, like we don't have those issues with the camera because we both game. We know that we know what we're doing. Not to say like if she doesn't know what she's doing, but I did have to change like the inverted because it automatically is inverted. So when you're pressing down, it goes up. When you press up, it goes
Oh
down.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that confused me in some sections. But like when I finally changed it, I'd never had to use it again. It was so funny. I was like, oh man. But anyway, fantastic game. 100% recommend. I think anyone should check it out if you're a fan of those games, or if you're just looking for a fun co-op game with your significant other or just a friend. Give it a whirl. Another game I jumped into, I know I was telling Ernie, I was like, I don't know what to play on my Asus. I know I have games, but I'm just in this rut that I don't feel like playing anything. The 17-year anniversary of GTA 4 just happened. And I'm like, you know what? I started it. Let's give it a go. And I popped it in, dude. I played it, dude. It is great. I was talking about weeks ago, a while ago, that I was playing GTA 5, but GTA 4 just feels more stripped and like a little bit more not linear, but you know what I mean. But like it's not as ambitious. I mean, it's still ambitious, but you know how GTA 5 is. It's like boom, 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 boom. But GTA 4 is just like it's like this sweet spot. I know GTA 4 has a spot in a lot of people's hearts. Like it's like one of the best. And dude, I'm playing it. It's like the character's great. It's like the setting is good. It's like the sky is just like gray and just like a darkness to it. And I think it's great. And it's funny because I was playing it and I'm still kind of in the beginning, but I'm meeting some of the more characters. More missions are expanding. But I was playing it, and there's a section where I have to take Roman. If you don't know who Roman is, it's Nico Bellic's cousin. He goes cousin, but I have to go pick up his I think it's fiance or girlfriend, and then she has her friend. So I pick them both up, and then like the girl basically sets me up with the other girl, And so after that, the girl calls me. He's like, "Hey, you want to hang out? Let's go on a date." I'm all sure. So I start driving over there, and then Roman calls me and he goes, "Cousin," he's like, "You have to come to me now. You know, I'm getting beat up by the loan sharks." And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, don't worry, I'll be there, I'll be there." But like I skipped it because in typical Grand Theft Auto fashion, if you do a mission later, right? So I go on this date with this girl. We go bowling. I'm done. I'm driving. I start heading to Rome, and he gives me a call. He goes, "Cousin," he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'm in the hospital. You left." He's pissed because I didn't go help him. Like he's all, and then like Nick goes like, "No, I went out to go hang out with Michelle, like you said." He's all, "Listen, cousin." He's like, "I'll forgive you if your breath smells like titties." And I was dying, dude. I was like, "This is awesome. Like this
Oh
is
my
so
gosh, dude, that
funny." I'm
is
like,
awesome.
I didn't realize this happens. I feel like this is like
I
a
didn't
path a
know
lot of
that
people think.
either.
And dude, it was so funny. And then I
That
pick him
is
up and
so good.
he goes, "Honestly, cousin," he's like, "I would have done the same thing for some titties."
That's so
But the funny
dude.
thing is, it happens again a little later. Like you drop him off,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like a mission or two later, it happens again. You have to go help, and he goes, "Don't leave me this time, cousin." And did it, and it was sweet. I was like, "Oh my gosh,
That
dude, I totally
dude,
forgot this is what
wow, that's
happened,"
awesome.
and I
That's
thought it
dude,
was great. So we'll
dude,
see how
Lex,
much. Go ahead.
I've played that mission and I went to go help him and then I did the date. So
Uh,
like for me it was a little different. It wasn't like the way you played it, but
okay.
that is so sick. That is so cool.
Dude,
That
and
is crazy.
it
Like
was hilarious, dude. I was like,
that is like unheard of. Personally, I think in that game, like I didn't know that. That's so
yeah, but
crazy.
it's funny because like as soon as that happened, that like immediately hooked me because I was like, this is where I was in the game. So I literally started there. And I was like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
You're right in the beginning.
I'm gonna play this game. And I played a little bit more today. Met some sweet character. I met like this Rasta dude. He's like, ah, man, I can't even understand him. It's so funny.
Yeah,
And like you're driving him and he keeps smoking. He's like, you want to hit this shit, man? He's like, no, I'm good. So man. And anyway, took the whole car out. He's just
yeah,
dude. It's just like a typical Grand Theft Auto is always written so
yeah,
well. I think, and I'm really excited for 4 because I have not played it since the first time I played it, which is when it first came out. Gosh, 17 years
yeah.
ago. What is that? 2004, 2005? No, 2007. Honestly, I don't know. 2008
I could
maybe.
look up, but
I think
uh,
2008. But yeah, dude, I'm super excited. I think this is the game that's like perfect for me. I will say, like the handbrakes in the game is a little rough. Like the handbrakes are very sensitive. Like my turns are like insane. I'm like, I'll do the handbrake, and I'm like literally doing a 360. I'm like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
like
it's crazy. It's 2008. Wow,
okay,
that
yeah,
was
so
a
17
tongue
years,
twister
yeah,
for me. I don't know
okay.
why.
But dude, awesome.
Damn.
I'm super excited. I bowled. The bowling is so crappy, but it was still funny
Yeah,
to do it. So yeah, dude, I'm really excited. I'm happy because I'm like, "Dude, this is the game I'm kind of looking for right now." And I remember when I first picked it up, I was playing it, I was enjoying it. Um, the other game that I just had to talk about again that I was playing before I hopped into GT4, and I saved it for last because I'm going to kind of talk a little bit of crap on this game. So Skull and Bones, I've told you guys I've been you know diving back into this because of that update, right? So like I said, I know I sound like a broken record at this point. Ubisoft just way too much going on. It's overwhelming. It's like I don't know where to go, and like it doesn't really mark your missions that well. It's weird. But so I'm doing this one mission where I have to go find this ship. So okay, here I go. All of a sudden, I get bombarded by pirates. There's like 4 like rogue ships. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I fight them. Boom, boom. They were low level. The thing that is pissing me off about this game, Ernie, that once I wiped all 4 of them out, all of a sudden 3 more on my other side. I'm like, wait, what? So I'm fighting them, and this whole time I'm just getting chased by these. Like eventually, I'm like, I can't do this. I got to go do my mission, and I'm getting chased and chased. And then I go to dock because I'm like, dude, I need a break. I need to like heal and like let some weight out because I had so much stuff. So my ship, I was going slow. And as soon as I get back on my ship, they're waiting for me. They start shooting at me again. I'm like, dude, what is going on? So I finally escaped them. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of annoying. Like, and I get it. It's like, whatever. It's adding to the game experience. And I'm on my way back to like this hub. There's this thing called plunder where you can go in these little areas to plunder areas and get resources. So I'm like, I'm just gonna try this. So I start plundering, and again, 4 ships. You're in this circle, and it says defeat all the enemies. Defeat the enemies. 4 ships. Another 5 spawn right away. I'm just okay, and then I do it again, and then I finish them. Another 3 spawn. I'm like, where are all these people coming from? And I have no idea where my progress in this plunder is. It keeps saying there's one more ship. There's one more ship. I shoot the ship. More ships. I'm like, what ship am I supposed to shoot? And I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving. I saw you're gonna leave your abandon your plunder. I'm like, I don't even care. Like this is so frustrating and so annoying that I'm just like, what am I doing wrong here? Am I doing something wrong? Like It's like consistently like someone if you fight somebody, it's like you can't escape them until you escape. Like it's dude, it kind of pisses me off. And like I don't know, it kind of throws off the immersion a little bit for me. Like because again, like I said, like if I'm fighting somebody on my left and I kill him, right away on my right, there's three more guys. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I'm getting tired of this. It's fun, but after a while, it's like I'm just done with this. I don't know. It's been rough. It's the high seas are rough, dude. I'll tell you that much. And like I don't know how I'm progressing, and like it keeps saying world events, but it doesn't really tell you what the world event is, and like you can't pause it to look because the game is constantly online. So I'm just getting so if I pause it to read something, I'm just getting attacked, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, I don't know. It's I need to get back into again. I like it, but like it's still just it's something about it. It's just like it's kind of pushing me away. I don't know if that makes sense. If anyone's on here that knows and's playing it, just let me know. I mean, maybe I'm doing something wrong here, but dude, it's and like I looked at my quest and I have so many things on it. I'm just like, I don't even know what to do. Like, where do I start? Because again, it's like constant world events. It's constantly updating. So it's like, oh, that's where I'm at with Skull and Bones. And I know
Yeah,
you wanted me to sell you on it before, and I don't think that's gonna sell you.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna sell me at all. I did tell you were gonna be my selling point if you did end up enjoying it. But yeah, dude, sounds like the sea is a cruel mistress, and
She is.
yeah, I'm wondering if it's because of where you're starting or where you're at in the game that this is happening to you. That's why you're having such a rough time in the rough seas. But it's like it shouldn't be like that. It kind of sounds like because I know in Assassin's Creed, right? When you're because I just finished Freedom Cry. It's like the DLC off of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and when you're playing that game, there's certain like missions that you have to do or like things you have to do, and it tells you this is the ship, but there is no way to know really unless you like see a little thing on it. You know what I mean? So it's like you could mess it up and destroy it. It's like a whole like you have to save slaves. It's really weird. And I remember this being like the way that they did it. I was like, this is so like strange. Like I don't understand what you want me to do. It was a lot of trial and error. Like I had
Yeah.
to end up just figuring it out like by just doing some random thing. And I was like, but yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I understand your frustration. Now, would I tell you to continue to play and figure it out? Probably. But
Mhm.
some part of me is like, how many like it's like you're in an abusive relationship with this game.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
times have you gone back? But I mean, again, you spend not that much money on it, but still, it's like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Something is like, I feel like this is the game that is gonna beat you down to your knees
Yeah, I
before it
mean,
ends.
I don't know. Maybe I just need to be more
You know?
focused, but like I said, it's just oh shoot, sorry. It's just so overwhelming, like just what's going on the screen and I don't know. And like I have my buddy Caesar, he's playing it as well. So maybe I'll talk to him about it, see his thoughts. Maybe he's listening now. Caesar, hit me up on the seas. We'll get a little butt pirates on.
Yeah,
But again, I like the game. This was my last playthrough, and I think I told you I was playing on the Asus, and I ended up getting rid of it off the Asus. It doesn't play right for me on the Asus. I don't know, something about it on
yeah,
handheld doesn't work. I need it on a wider screen. Not to say the gameplay was bad on it, but it just something about it doesn't fit. I need a controller for it or keyboard and mouse, however you play. But I'll update you. But yeah, after that, I mean, I think what I just need to do is like do the task at hand and just leave. But it's like, but again, like I said, it's hard. It's not very clear when it tells you to do something. It's weird. And I did something and I completed the task and all of a sudden it was like, buy the pass for a skull and bones reward. I'm like, I know. I'm like, no, I don't want this. So I hope to update you all in the future, but that's where I'm at with Skull and Bones. I think GTA 4 is just going to be hitting too hard. So maybe I want to go back for a while, take a little break. But I do get the mission where I go fight a sea monster, so I'm excited to do that. But I don't think I'm upgraded enough. That's another thing. I don't really know. I mean, I know how to upgrade, but it's like I got to put more time into it, dude. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot of negative on it, but it's just where I am.
no, I mean, it's your experience. It's not negativity. It's like how your experience is. I mean, Caesar's front of the channel. His experience is far different than yours because he's actually gotten to that creature and he's fighting and it's like fun for him, but you haven't gotten to that and it's bad game design probably. Who knows? Like, why is he over here doing this awesome thing and you're like stuck over here being harassed by all these pirates? You know what I mean? It's
And
just
like I said, I thought it was
I
cool
don't
at first.
understand.
like these cool looking ships that and they had like torpedoes. I'm like, oh, this is pretty dope. And I was like dodging them. And then, but like I said, it's just like I wipe them all out, and then all of a sudden there's just 10 more. I'm like, dude, I'm like, what is happening? Um, but anyway, so similar to this episode, that took a long time to get to what our topic is. You like that transition. This week we're discussing, does length matter in video games? Obviously, Skull and Bones is an online game, so that game can go on as long as you probably so please. But let's get you in the mood here. You guys ever spent 100 hours in a game and it felt like it flew by, or you played a 10-hour game that overstayed its welcome? Um, so we're talking about video game lengths. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How it impacts the quality, the value, and the satisfaction? It's it's an interesting point, right? There are some games you'll play. I won't mention any games yet, but there are games you play that are long, where that's worthwhile than experiencing. But then you got those long games. I mean, I'll just say off the top of like an Assassin's Creed game. They'll be very long, and there's not substance, like Ernie mentioned about Valhalla. But you can play something like Red Dead. But then you get those really short games that really hit. But then if a game's too short, you're like, oh, I feel like I needed more. Where is the sweet spot in the game length? I personally, I think a 15, 20 hour game is like I think right now, me and Ernie always like, how many hours? About 15, 12, 20?
Yeah,
I can
honestly,
do that.
20.
I
I
can
could do
do
that.
that.
Yeah,
Like that's, I can fix that. You know what I
I
mean?
could fix it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. So when I proposed this topic to you, and I was telling you about it, my big takeaway was there's so many games out there, and I guess it depends on. I was talking to a friend of the channel, Owen, and I was asking him, like, we'll get into his hours of games, but
Mhm.
I believe he's the one that said it depends on the kind of gamer you are, right? Like it depends on the game that you like, because not every game is kind of, you have a bias, right? Like I love Destiny, and I've spent countless hours on that. Lex does not like Destiny, so he has not played countless hours. But it's like for me, Destiny is just like a game I can continuously just kind of enjoy and play, right? But yeah, that's why I wanted to ask this question. I think playing Valhalla, which is one of the games that you brought up, was the main reason that this topic came to mind, because the game is so darn long and there's so much content here, and for me it feels like it's just sort of dragging on. But at the end of the day, someone is like someone who's younger probably, who doesn't have a job, maybe just goes to school and doesn't focus on school, and doesn't really have a lot of other things going on, can like put so many hours into this game. And I'm not just saying that
Yeah.
that's a thing. I mean, I'm sure other people can do it, but it's
Yeah.
like all this content is like perfect for them, because at this point, during my playtime of Valhalla, there's all these DLCs, all this extra content that they added. You know what I mean? And so there's
Well,
so
just
much more
mhm.
game. But my question for one of them, like, which I guess is the big myth, which is something that has changed in the zeitgeist of gaming, is a longer game better? And
Yeah.
I guess it
Yeah.
really depends on the game, right? Like, so a lot of people believe that if a game is 100 plus hours, that would equate to the value of it being actually $65.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Versus an 8 hour game who is a lot, is like 60 hours. I mean, $65, and it's less of a
Mhm.
game. Like what is the proper balance? And I don't know. It's kind of tough, right? Like,
Yeah, and then you also get those games, like an Ubisoft game, like we talked about with Ubisoft. It's not always the best, right? Like, and it's a 100-hour game, $60, but it might not be great because not just kind of their reputation. But I mean, that happens anyway. And like you're right, and it's funny because nowadays you hear it more. Like people are like, "Wait a minute, this game's only 10 hours, and I got to pay $60. Like, why isn't it?" We've gotten I think gamer developers have gotten more comfortable. Not everyone, but making a game so much longer with extra content. I mean, that's why I was like, if you get DLC, that's fine, adds extra to the game. But we just don't get that a lot, right? All the DLC is kind of built into it now, and then it still comes out anyway. But like side quest and all that good stuff, it's a lot. And I mean,
yeah,
you mentioned, it depends on the person. Like, yeah, definitely. I mean, it could be an older person with a job too. If that's the game they want to play, that's the game they want to play. I mean, maybe some
true.
people only get one game a year. You know what I mean? Not everyone. But and again, I definitely used to be someone who put hours into games. I mean, like I want to bring up if I can bring up an example, like we were talking about The Last of Us, right? And how many hours to put in that game, single player game. Last of Us, the first one, I put in over 100 hours in that game, single player, but there was multiplayer. And then on the second one, I think I put like 70 something, right? But like that was just a game I loved, and I wanted to go back and redo it, which is great. I mean, that game was only like what 15 hours as well, but I wanted to. I was a completionist at the time for those games, but those games were also very great. I never wanted to leave the world. Um,
But that
yeah,
goes
it's
back though, Lex, to replayability. So
mhm,
that's the difference between a lot of games, right? Back when, I mean, it's not like we were that young, but when we were younger, like we always bring up the Batman series or like Metal Gear Solid or those games that were not as long, but they, they had their, their runtime of like 10 hours, whatever. But the replayability for those games were so great because we would continuously play those games. I don't know I beat BioShock like the first one like 3 times. I beat BioShock Infinite like 2 times. Like the replayability was so good, but those games aren't like crazy long. Then you get like Valhalla, 100+ hour game. I mean, the content is great, right? There's a lot of cool stuff there, but then a lot of the rest of it feels pretty dragged, right? And it's
mhm,
100+ hours. Like, is it worth it? But then, like I even wrote here on the notes, The Witcher 3. I just beat that game. Took me like 40 hours, something like that, to beat just the main game. I did like maybe a few side quests here and there,
mhm,
but overall, that game is 100+ hours to complete
mhm,
everything. And that game is praised till this day on being one of the best exploration and storytelling
mhm,
open world games because they
mhm.
did it so well. Like you could run into, it's like Red Dead Redemption 2. You just run into someone and it starts something happens, and it's like you could choose to help them or you could choose to like go away, but it doesn't change the main quest. It's just changing your Geralt's sort of journey through this land or world, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that kind of brings up the conversation of multiple endings, right? It's like what we talked about the last time. You know, you can have this journey in Witcher, 100 hours, but you're gonna get the same result, right? I mean, I think Witcher has multiple endings.
It
Um,
does. It has, I
but
think, three,
well,
but
maybe something like Valhalla. It's funny because you're talking about Valhalla, and I remember checking my Valhalla, and I checked my hours, and I did 61 hours, I think, in that game. And I remember I was not even close to being done. I was like, dude, I was looking at him like, oh my gosh, like I don't think I even scratched the surface, which is wild. But that was also my fault because at that time I was very into the exploring, and sometimes I fall back into that when I'm playing games now. I'm like, no, and I have to tell myself like, no, I can't do this. Like I don't have the time for this right now. And I guess that's kind of the issue with Skull and Bones. Like, that's an open world. I mean, we'll talk about more of those probably a little later, but like, Skull and Bones is going to be going on forever, and these world events consistently always updating. Will it ever end? Probably not. I think once you finally upgrade your ship to a certain point, like people are like, okay, I'm kind of done. But man, it's it's crazy. It is wild. I mean, I think back when we were growing up with games, I think games were even what 8 to 10 hours, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess it depended on the game, right?
Mm,
This is another thing that I wanted to ask you because I feel like not a lot of people talk about this when they do talk about length in games, but gameplay and game cutscenes, I feel that should be separated, right?
okay.
Because a game can have cutscenes like Metal Gear Solid, Guns of the Patriot, Hideo Kojima, right?
Final
Cutscenes are
Fantasy,
crazy long. Final
mhm,
Fantasy,
Death Stranding, yeah. Mhm,
16, Death Stranding. They have some pretty big cutscenes in it. They're pretty long, right? So they take a big chunk of the game that should be gameplay, right? It's a little
mhm,
different. So I don't know. Like that's that's another topic, right? It's like, is a game worth being that long when they're slowing down your gameplay, right? I know you've played enough games like I have where you play Gears of War, you're running down, and it's like you start talking to Dom, and he's like Dom, and you're walking, and then all of a sudden you're locked. You can't run anymore. Now you're just walking, and you're like, why am I walking? I want to
yeah,
get to the next place faster, and you
that's
can't.
true.
They do this with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is like like 15 minutes of, maybe depending on where you're going, 10 minutes of gameplay where it's like you're just following someone who is slow and doesn't. It's an NPC that doesn't know where the heck they're going sometimes, and you're just like behind them, and you're like, oh god, come on, get there.
That's why I like those games where you can run and they'll run with you, but sometimes they don't. I think there's a lot of times it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I think Shadows has that on some instances. I'm like, gosh, can't you run? Hurry up.
Yeah, it's funny because I know you're going back to Grand Theft Auto. I'm not sure if they have it in that game, but you're gonna see like going back to old games. A lot of old games didn't have that, and it's so interesting because again, it prolongs the game. And I know this was a big topic, and I don't recall exactly when this was happening, what year it was. Maybe you could look this up for me. But it was during The Witcher 3's release and also The Order 1886 that people started to complain about the time or game or the amount of hours you could put in or a game should have. Right? It was like this big thing. I think IGN had talked about it. And the Order 1886 got this big flack. Right? Everyone disliked it. So
yeah, so the order came out in 2015 along with The Witcher as well.
Yeah,
it's funny because I typed in Order 66 and it was Star Wars.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's the one with that's when all Jedis die.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
spoilers.
Yeah. No, right. So The Witcher 3 and Order 1886 came out at the same time. The Witcher 3 was the best game out there. Everyone was like, dude, what a great game. 100 plus hours of content. I can't believe they did something like this. And then the Order 1886 comes out. You could beat it in like 7 hours, right? But there's people who are like, I think if you skip dialogue, you could beat this in like 4 hours. And so people are like, is this game worth $65? And that's why that game, for the most part, was like reviewed poorly because of the amount of hours that it had. The game is not the worst. It's not the greatest. It's a good game. I thought they were trying to do something a little different. I know that I think it was
very cinematic, and it was a PS4 launch, right?
Dude, it was beautiful, dude. If you go back and play it now, it's a gorgeous game to this day. And the game is cool. The story was cool. You can see that they were trying to do something here. I mean, that company ended up getting sold to Meta and creating VR games or whatever. But yeah, like people disliked a little bit of the gunplay because they were trying to do a little bit something different, like Gears of War, but a little bit different that it just didn't fit as well. I think they should have just done a Gears of War sort of like, play style. And I think it would have fit a lot better. But yeah, dude, the game was awesome.
Was that game trying to be like a rival to Gears of War, you think?
I don't
for
know
PlayStation,
exactly.
So PlayStation can have something?
Possibly. I know that there was a time where PlayStation was trying to have a big push of having these like first party games that were going to become part of the PlayStation like cycle of games, right? So they brought out Killzone Shadowfall at that time.
Yes.
They brought out the Order 1886, which came out a little later, Infamous. So they were trying to build upon their like library. And I don't know if they were trying to do a little Gears, because I know Gears of War 4 might have come out around the same time during this release, but this is also around the time that PlayStation 4 used the momentum of Xbox One coming out with like, this is for your TV, your TV, your TV. Remember all that stuff on E3, and so they capitalized on that, and Sony became sort of the go-to console moving forward in that sort of console era, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so I don't know. I want to get into this next topic, Lex, if I may, because we're talking about the Order 1886. I want to talk about short games and how powerful those are, right?
Yeah.
Now, those are a little bit more tight, more focused experience, but they often leave a lasting impression. I have an example. I don't know if you ever played Inside.
I know the game. I don't think I did never play it.
Yeah,
sadly.
bro. 3 to 4 hours, beautiful, emotionally impactful. The atmosphere is so cool. It's a really interesting game. And then Journey, right? Journey,
yes, that is a game.
Is a 2-hour game. And that is considered a masterpiece, brother.
No dialogue.
No dialogue, nothing. That game I beat, and I teared up. I was like, this got me. It was a beautiful game, and I'm so happy. I always express to people that they should play this game, but I don't know if it's going to be as easy now, because at the end of the day, when you're playing that game, you're by yourself, and then eventually you meet up with another person that is playing next to you, but you don't know till the end of the game that was another person playing the game with you. And there's a deeper meaning to the story and the things that are happening. I won't spoil that because I think it's a beautiful little story that's being told. And this is around the time we were getting like some great indie games, right? That were more, again, like impactful. They were a little
Focus.
different. They were trying something that not a lot of games are doing, or at least at this point, in my perspective, maybe PC was doing something, but at this time we're heavily console gamers. And yeah, so yeah, indie games, bro. Uh,
Yeah, that's gonna be where it's at if you want to find
short but creative, right?
a little short. Yeah, exactly, short and impactful. I mean, I played Journey as well. I mean, amazing game, like Ernie said, and this is also kind of around like where Telltale was kind of coming out too. I feel like, and like those were so episodic and like short to do as well, and those were also impactful, right? The story beats were great. You can probably beat those games within under 6 7 hours. I remember that as well. I mean, like again, but again, those games weren't I mean, Telltale was a little different. I think it was priced a little differently. But Journey, I mean, I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't, $60. And I don't know, what do you think people would be mad if it was like a $40 game? I don't remember how much it was, but it's amazing, right?
I'll
It's a
look it up.
great game. Um
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, Inside, I didn't play that one. I would like to. Um Yeah, I need to get more into indie games. I always hear such great things, and I don't know why. I'm always the big like I gotta play the AAA, but I'm missing these games. But maybe
yeah.
I'm part of the problem where I want a longer game to justify. But I mean, I have so many free games now that it's like, does it matter?
And we were talking about that too, right? With like Game Pass and PS Plus Premium and all that. Like you get a lot of games. I
But
can't find the
also, sorry,
pricing
go
of
ahead.
this game, but I think I remember it being like roughly like 20-15 bucks. I don't think it was that expensive.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. So with that game,
Um,
I don't think playing it now the controls will be as crazy. I mean, you did mention that one part when you're playing with somebody, but like if you think about games like we used to play back in the day, and like let's say like Sly Cooper for instance, right? That was a short game. It re-released on PlayStation, and I went to go play it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this does not play well. It's not a full port. It's just like I mean, it's a port, but like it's not a full like remake and remaster. And I'm like, this doesn't play well. Like the camera's really bad. But obviously when we were playing at the time, it was fine. So it's kind of hard to go back to those games like when you want to. But I mean, they're short enough. But it's like, will you go through the frustration, right? There's also like the whole back in the day when games were like under an hour when you rent, but they make them so hard. And we talked about that. I mean, that's a different story.
different
But
topic, but yeah, no, that's so funny because I mean, I know you had made the it was, I mean, I guess it was an assumption, but you're like, I guess that's why they did that, right? So that you could rent the game more. But I
hmm,
don't think so because the place that's having them rent games is making the money, not the developer. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
at
true.
the end of the
They
day,
get a
they
little
want you to
piece. They
play
get a
the
little piece.
game. Yeah, I guess so when you're buying the game, unless they like buy it more than once. But I hated renting games because people would they would treat their games like shit. It was
Oh
so
yeah.
terrible. They were so
Sometimes
scratched up.
you'd get games that are scratched up, definitely.
Yeah, dude. But yeah,
Yeah, but dude, but this next topic, let's talk about here replayability and the game design over raw hours. Some games, again, like I mentioned, they have short campaigns, high replay value. I mean, like I said, Last of Us wasn't, I wouldn't say exactly the shortest game. I want to say about 15 hours, but I replayed the crap out of it, right? I mean, I truly enjoyed it. And this also works for a long game, right? I'm going back into Grand Theft Auto. Those aren't short games, those are long games. I want to get back in Red Dead. That is a long game. It's it's the quality of some games, right? Like I know we've talked about this game before, I think on this channel, but like for Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West, fantastic game, lots of content in there. Would I go back to it? Probably not. I was just like, it was fun to play. I had a great time, but I'm like, there was nothing there. I mean, there was, but you know what I mean. It was so overwhelming and too much going on, and the game didn't draw me back enough to be like, I want to play that game again because I'm playing, and I'm sure you have those games as well that you played. I know you do. Like long games you played are like, I want to get back and try those again. And that doesn't happen often because we don't have that time, right?
no, yeah, it's kind of. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one that you and I speak on all the time, right? We'll like randomly we'll be like, man, I want to go back to Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's like we know once we get there, it's gonna be a really long, game to like complete
It's a
again.
commitment. Hmm.
It is a commitment, and yeah, dude. I mean, go like. I mean, I wrote down here. I put like an example for short campaigns that have a high replay value. Replay value is Like Hades has a lot of
Mm,
short runs. The replayability is great because of the roguelike nature of it, and it's awesome. And I've played that game a lot, especially on the Nintendo Switch. But I've never beaten it, dude, and it's a tough one. But I always will go back, and I really enjoy that game. I like think that I could definitely beat it if I just like put my like, you know, just continue to play that game only. But I'm always like playing it, and then something else draws me. So like right, and I think last time I was playing that game, I ended up buying Prince of Persia: The Lost
mhm,
Crown, and I started playing that. And
mhm,
so I'm like, man, a freaking Hades fell to the wayside, but like the game is awesome. Like, but the replay value, like I used to play the crap out of Binding of Isaac. I don't know if you ever played that one when you're like a little
mhm,
baby, and it's roguelike again, kind of like Hades. You go through dungeon and dungeon, and you collect these power ups, and you're trying to defeat these bosses and things like that. And it's a lot of fun, man. It's a really great game, and it has so much replayability because of all the differences every time you do a run of the game. Nothing is the same. It's always different. It's kind of
mhm,
like
mhm.
Returnal, right? I
No, yeah,
It
yeah, I was gonna
changes
say
up
that.
on you, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
again, like, I mean, that yeah, that sounds aw and that kinda reminds me, and this is not exactly roguelike, but, like, we're talking about the Switch earlier. When I first got my Switch, I'm like, I know games that I can beat. I'm gonna play Pokemon, the OG, you know what I mean? Pokemon Go, I've done that
yeah,
game plenty of times. I think I always go back to Pokemon, like like the Pikachu version and, like, the yellow, like, that style because I just
Pokemon Let's Go, right?
Let's Go, but I mean, again, like, I've played the original one, like, the Game Boy one multiple times, definitely, because that game is just I'd always just come back to it, and similar to, like, a Mario game, I think when I got my Switch, I was like, "I just wanna beat games, so I wanna go back to these Mario games I played and just say that I beat them," you know what I mean? Or Donkey Kong and those
Yeah,
have high replay value,
yeah.
and that makes your game extremely worth it, the purchase, definitely. Mario Odyssey, I don't know about Zelda. I mean, it's a long game, but I mean, I know a lot of people. I mean, I put a lot of hours in that game as well.
Mhm. I played.
Um,
There was a game that I kept. I've told you. For every year I would go back and finish finish them. I think all the way through like maybe Mega Man X, but Mega Man, right? I would play one, two, three. I would go through all of them, and I would finish them, and I would do it every year, and then eventually I kind of stopped, and I would just replay Mega Man 2, which was my favorite, and I would finish it every year, and it was like a short game, but it's so good. Like I loved everything that I was doing in the game, and then they brought out the freaking Nintendo Switch re-release of it, where it's like you could rewind and fast forward or whatever. They had the option. I think it was rewind, and so it
mhm,
made the game like silly to play, but it was fun. And again, the replayability of that game, it was like so much fun. And it's only like an hour or whatever. I
mhm,
forget how even long it is. I don't even think it's that darn long.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, dude. And then another thing I wanted to talk about, which are short games, but I guess not really, depending on I guess the player engagement and the retention of it. For
mhm.
multiplayer games, right?
Yes.
Um, we talk about Rocket League. It's just a game where you are a car and you're hitting a ball into a goal, a
Yep.
goal post, right? Or what would you call
Soccer
it?
with rocket cars. Yep.
Like soccer with rocket cars, right? And it's very simple, but the replayability of that game is like hours upon hours. But it's just like, and now I think they have like Rocket League hoops and stuff. I don't really play that game. I
No,
know
I haven't played in a
Fortnite
while.
brought Rocket League Racing to it, and there's a lot of little things now, but it's like to boil it down, that's it. That is what it is. You play
Mhm,
soccer with rocket cars, and people love that game. And the amount of hours that people have put into that is baffling because it is not baffling. Like, oh, I can't believe they've done it. It's just the amount of hours is crazy because it is just one game type that people really gravitate towards. But because of the way the game plays, the replayability is so like
hi.
high, right? Because it's like, oh, you can learn to do trick shots. You can learn to ride the
Right.
walls. You know, like there's a lot of things that you can learn in that
Yeah,
game. Uh,
my friend, Matty Stees, shout out.
mm,
He's really good. He's seen he still plays that game, and I see him playing. He, like, floats with the car and, like, flies with it. It's like, "Oh my
dude,
gosh,"
that's
like,
so crazy.
people get that and that's awesome. And again, like, it's not a traditional, lane style game, right? It's not a story like I mentioned with Skull and Bones. That game, I don't know how long that game's gonna go on because it's consistently being updated or like a Fortnite type. Those games are always gonna be there, that's not a traditional uh length kind of game. And it's funny
Yeah.
because like, something like Fortnite is free and you can play it. Obviously, you can buy ingrained microtransactions and all that, but I think Rocket League was free at one point, but now it costs. But you can just countless hours you can put into these games, the high replay, and that's what
Yeah.
multiplayer games should be, right? I mean, not all single games are replayable, but they are great. I played great ones where I'm like, I don't care to go back.
Yeah, I
Um,
was talking to Owen, friend of the channel, and
yes,
buddy of ours, and I don't know if he's a friend of the channel. I don't think he listens to the episodes as much, but he's spent about 2,000 hours on Counter Strike.
yeah,
Multiplayer is very simplistic, right? Nothing crazy. I mean, I know there's more to it. I think he wrote a dissertation on it to become whatever the heck he got, but
Mhm.
he wrote one, and the game is basically you shoot and you win and you plant a bomb. Nothing crazy, right? So there's not a lot to it, but the way that you learn to shoot a gun or how everything kind of plays itself out and the hours that you can put into it to get good is crazy. And he's done that, and it's like that is awesome. I was telling him about my multiplayer experience with like Fortnite. I spent about 700 hours on that game. I have a buddy who's probably put even more, but I don't even know what his count is. But I
Yeah.
know that his is like up more than freaking 1,000 for sure. Um, and so yeah, like that's the thing is like you really don't know. Again, like what I said that he said that sounded very strange, but what he stated was it depends on the type of gamer you are. Some games just grip you, man. You're like a black tar, dude. You know, you
dude,
just kind of
definitely.
stay there. And so we have that with that game. With multiplayer games. And
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, playing with friends also just it prolongs that too, right? I mean,
definitely, yeah.
I mean, even like a game like Lethal Company, for instance, when I was playing that, we were playing the crap out of it. It's such a simple game, $10, and it's just the same premise over and over. But gosh, it was so funny, great results, and we played it a lot. We all had
Yeah.
it. We had a great time with it. Hadn't played it in a
You know,
while, but it's a game I'm like, I always think about it. Like, I wish we can go back to that game because it was so fun. It's just like the replay value was great, and it was so cheaply made, like it's or looked cheap. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
that was the fun of it. I mean, obviously, I don't know
Yeah.
much about game development, but
No, yeah, you're fine. Like, yeah, just I'm glad
I'm
that you
fine.
brought up the co-op. I'm glad you brought up the co-op thing. I am fine. He said that. Talking about the co-op thing. They were talking about Super Smash Bros. Right?
Hmm.
And he was telling me that on his Switch, that they it was Ethan's brother, but I don't know his name. I didn't get to catch it. But he said that he spent about 800 hours, and it's not just him. It was like multiple people playing the game, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
still 800 hours of that game was played in order for you know like for for them to get to that amount of time, and that is cool. Like I like again, they love the game,
That's not
and
even the smallest. There's so many people that put way more into that, I'm sure.
oh, definitely, man. I know. Again, because I was talking to these guys before we hopped on the episode here, and I was asking them like, I'm gonna go do this YouTube video. I just wanted to. I'm gonna go do this, and this is what I'm gonna do. And then I started asking them questions like, "What is there anything you guys would like add?" And they started checking their times. And Owen was checking RuneScape. Now I don't know if you ever played RuneScape. RuneScape's like this. I don't know. Looks like an RPG. I really don't understand it. Even when I ask him, I'm like, I don't even
Uh,
know what's going on here. He tells me like, no one knows. I always end
no
up going
one
like,
knows.
but that guy's put like 1,200 hours into that game.
That is awesome.
Isn't that
I
crazy,
love
bro?
that. I love it. No one
And
knows
then
this. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's a
I
great
don't
time.
even know. It's just yeah, it's where it's at. And then I asked, I asked Ethan. I don't think you worked with him.
No,
There's this
probably
role
not.
playing game. It's like a little simulator. You're like a little farmer. It's called Stardew Valley.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I'm aware.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think you know what it is. So I asked him. He was asking. He's like, "Hey, do you know what game I put the most time into?" And he said he spent about 1,500 hours in that game.
Holy
He
crap.
said he's on his third playthrough of it or something like that. I don't even know what you do in that game, but that is again like it's
Stardew
crazy.
Valley. Yeah. I mean, I tried. Um, I couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. I gave it a go.
I didn't even try it. I think I
It was all the
no, that's a
rage. It was
different
all the
game.
rage.
Yeah, it was. There was a game I bought that it was all the rage, and it was like kind of like a Minecraft, but it was very like more like side scrolling, and I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but and then the other guy I wanted to mention now I don't have his name as well. They always change their Discord names on Discord. They don't like keep it, so it's like like Owen's name is I Finger Paint, and then the other guy on that channel's name is Paint. Do you get it?
So dumb.
Or I'm Paint or something like that.
I mean, that's good. So, quick question: you can change your name on Discord because I remember the times on like Xbox and PSN you had to like charge to change your name.
Oh yeah. Do you remember that? Well, I don't know how you did it with your friends or not, but people would get basically banned by doing something like I forgot what they would do, where they would make the name like something so they can get it changed out for free. Because if not, you'd have to pay $10. I think
That's
it'd
pretty
have to be
smart.
offensive or something stupid like that.
That's pretty funny. I mean, no, we
Yeah,
did not do
I
that.
didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, but
That's
yeah.
that's
So
crazy.
yeah, so going back to the guy, he was telling me about Dishonored. Now I have not had the pleasure of playing Dishonored. I have two buddies. Well, this guy and that I know from Discord, and then our buddy Emilio. And Emilio is a lover of Dishonored, and that guy's played the crap out of it many times. He just got into PC gaming, and he repurchased Dishonored on PC, put a bunch of mods in it, and he claims that it's lore accurate. Man, I forget the guy's name. Cuervo, I believe his name is.
Jose
Something like that.
Cuervo.
Jose Cuervo, something like that. And he drinks heavily. No, but he was telling me that he put a mod where it's like lore accurate, where he's like really powerful and all this stuff. And I was like, this is so cool. But I've seen him play it, and like I was saying, the guy on Discord, he was saying the replayability of that game because it's so short. Like you could beat that in such a short time, but the amount of times you could play it because you're an assassin in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can do everything always differently. You could assassinate this person like this, or you could do this. When I was watching Emilio play, he was like, "Should I do this or should I do this?" And I'm like, "How funny! Like it doesn't give you the option to do it. He's just able to do it. It's not like a prompt where you're able to like do you feel like doing this, or do you want to go in loud, or do you want to like be silent?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you basically can kind of mix and match. And I was like, that's freaking neat.
That reminds me of the Hitman games too. I mean, you brought that up. Like Hitman is another game like that. Like if you play those games now, if you ever played those Hitman series, they are insane. There are so many different ways to do things. There's so many ways to kill your targets. And I mean, I like the Hitman games back in the day, but now I'm just like, it's way too much for me. They're fun, but they're tough. Great games though. Great game. And I never got to play Dishonored. I know I heard great things about it. I did play the developer when they did Deathloop. I played that game and I had a great time. I thought that was really fun. That was kind of another type of game like that. But yeah, I'll give that a go one of these days. I probably won't. I say that. But you want to jump into gears to the next topic here. Uh, Genre expectations matter, dude. I mean, now we're talking JRPGs, RPGs, open world games. They're expected to be long, right? But do they scare you away? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, but then you got the platformers, puzzle games, horror titles. They're a little, maybe often shorter. Or like something like Elden Ring. I feel like it kind of falls in the RPG and the horror kind of genre, right? It's like scary and it's long. I put over 100 hours in that game and I never beat it, but I never had an issue doing it. Again, this happens to do with the genre. You mentioned Resident Evil Village here. I think it was around 10 hours and it was like the perfect pace. I think that's what I like about the Resident Evil games. They're not even like Silent Hill as well, right? It was maybe 10, 15 hours and you can make it as long as you want, but they were good. But if you're going to play an RPG, it's like, dude, I think like the Yakuza games, right? Is that what it is? I know
Yeah.
you have a little bit more experience playing that, so I don't know if you want to chat about it, but like I know those games are crazy with the open stuff you can do. You can do karaoke, you can own like restaurants, you can like manage like it's just like all kinds of games in one, right?
You can just live in the game a little bit. Yeah, no, I mean, I played it for a bit, and it's definitely a lot at first, but again, it's like it's just there. You don't need to do it. Like it said, it's expected that they're long, but they don't always have to be. I think with RPGs or JRPGs and there it really depends on how you play because a lot of RPGs want you to level up, and that's the thing that Assassin's Creed games have done after Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Is it? No, not Odyssey. What's the one with the
Origins, I
Egyptian
think.
Origins? Thank you. With Assassin's Creed Origins, when you play that game, it's the first kind of RPG version of Assassin's Creed, and you have to level up to move on up to the next, like big baddie or people that you can take out. You just start off and you're kind of just, very weak at first. With The Witcher 3 as well, you do the same thing. So these games are expected to be long, but is it long because of content or long because of this sort of block that
Level
they're
up.
putting on your character, right? I was telling you about Assassin's Creed Valhalla in one of the audios, but I love being an assassin in Assassin's Creed. That's why I play Assassin's Creed. Not being able to one shot kill someone with my hidden blade is obnoxious. And in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you're able to do it. And I put that on and I told you, Lex, dude, this is a game changer. This is exactly how this game should feel. Because if I do get caught, I'm getting my ass whooped by these level whatever. You know what I mean? So I need to be stealthy. I need to learn the map. I need to use my Raven to scope out the area. You know what I mean? Like I'm playing it the way I would imagine this game should be played. But then you play it without all that, or without the freaking instant kill, and it's like it becomes like hack and slash. Like they have too much. Like they're sponges, bullet sponges without the bullets. It's like you just keep hacking away at something and they're not dying, and it's like that is obnoxious.
Takes away the immersion a little bit.
Exactly, and so I don't know.
It's funny. I just want to bring this game up real funny. It's a quick funny thing. Like, you're talking about when like you're blocked from something, right? Like you're not able to continue because you have to do a certain thing, you have to be a certain level. It reminds me of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I thought it was one of the dumbest things. You play this game, you get about halfway, and you get to this point in this level where you have to swim to like a boat, but you have to have your swims like stats a certain level. So if you're not swimming up until that point, you literally, and this is exactly what I had to do in the redone games. I had to go jump in the water and swim and dive for maybe 30 minutes, just doing that in a circle at a circle. I'm like, 'cause I couldn't continue. There's no way. And I was like, this is so annoying. And I remember hearing it, like somebody talk about that as well. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. And it's so funny, right? I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I thought that's like a more tedious, at least with an RPG, that you have to get there. But like that game at the time, you didn't know. If you weren't doing it, then you're like, oh crap, like I'm kind of screwed here.
No, it's kind of annoying. I
But
remember having to do that too.
Yeah, I will say though, like RPGs are definitely, if you're a completionist, I applaud you because those games are tough when you really want to do like a completionist run. Like those games will put you over 100 hours or sometimes, and that's what I love. Like when I think I talked about maybe last week about Mass Effect. Like when I played the Legendary editions, I was basically did most of everything, and it was still about 30 hours, and that's completionist going. And if I did a little more, maybe 35, but I didn't do everything. And did I mean, honestly, I'm like, it's rare now, right? You don't see that too often. It's always got to be a 40 plus hour, especially with RPGs. And it's like, oh man, it's it's rough,
A
bro.
lot.
It's
And
very rough.
it's because of the cost of games, right? Like I said, it was like during The Witcher 3 and that conversation with the Order 1886. I don't know if those were the games that were the catalyst of it, but I think that was the first time I remember seeing that a game's length was in perpetuity to how good of a game or how much of a cost it should be. And I think that's the wrong way to view it, right? Which is why like indie games became very popular because they became cheap, but they became these smaller games that were perfect in their own, rights. But I'm
Well,
glad. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
my question to you is, why didn't you play the indie game? Indiana Jones. Sorry.
You
Go ahead.
see,
Got him.
this
Go
guy's
ahead.
good. But yeah, so I wanted to go back to the Elden Ring because I think you're right with that game. The cool thing about Elden Ring though is that you could level up and get a lot stronger and defeat these bosses, or you could just beat these bosses without leveling up and just having chip away damage, being able to just learn to play the game. You can do a lot of the bosses in the beginning without having to really level up. You just need to know what you're doing, which is crazy. Like I've seen people like beat those games and not even be leveled at all.
That's true. Let me solo her.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that guy beat that Millennia like 1,000 times or something like that. Came out
with
on
like nothing. He was like helping people too, which is
yeah,
awesome.
which is freaking awesome. I love that dude. Didn't even just show up, do what he got to do, and then he would leave. And then that one is hard. That's a tough battle. That is a tough battle.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
yeah, but again, this, to bring it all full circle, this brings us back to what you said earlier. These games are personal preferences, right? And life balance. Not everyone has time for these 80 power games, 80 plus games. And if you do, more power to you. But the problem is, are all these games fulfilling enough, right? And like it enough, like I said, I played long games where I'm like, oh, this is not worth it. Like, why did I waste my time? I should have just went straight for the main quest. Some players prefer games they can complete in a weekend, which is fine too. I mean, I know we're trying to kind of, you and I, getting older, we're more so like I want to play a game that's gonna be faster. But I mean, like I'll say like again, like with Cyberpunk, for instance, like I get into the game and I'm like, now that I'm here, I love this world because it's got me. It's got me in its hooks where I'm like, I don't want to leave this world. I want to keep exploring. I want to prolong my experience. And when a game does that, I think it's, cheers to them, but also it screws me because I'm like, gosh, now it's gonna take me longer to finish this game. Uh, so yeah, I mean, is it better to finish a tight, short game or just get lost in a massive world? Again, personal preference, up to you. I kind of like both. Obviously I prefer a short game. I something in the middle, but it just when I'm gonna do a game with like a massive world and get lost in, I gotta be more a little choosy, right? It's kind of like I can't, I guess, stay away from Ubisoft games. I know we always bag on Ubisoft, but like it's kind of true, right? Because they're
because
always
we
very
buy their games.
that's their games.
Yeah, we buy their games though. You know what I mean? It's not like yeah, we dislike a lot of things they do, but we own most of the things that they do.
I like what they do,
Right? Yeah, I do too. I think they
not
could
all
be better
choices.
for sure, and that's what I want them to be. I want them to change up, their sort of development of a game, but that's neither here nor there. But like, yeah, like you said, most players do want to finish. Oh, I mean, like I said, right? I wrote this, but like you said, or we've said, most players want to beat games on the weekend. I beat my games in a week, right? Like there was the beginning of the channel when we started, I would beat a game every week almost, right? I would
That's
tell you like, oh, this is the game I beat this week. Or this is the game I. Now I'm like an Assassin's Creed. I'm on the third week and not even able to beat a game. And you were telling me I think you made the joke. It was you, if I remember correctly. But you're like, with the amount of time you spend on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you could have beaten 3 games. I
Yep,
think you
I did
said.
say that.
And
Mhm.
I'm like, you're right, dude. It's crazy. It's like I definitely could have because the game is so darn long. There's so much going on. At some point in my gameplay of Valhalla, right, I started to skip dialogue,
Yeah, I do the
things
same.
that
That's
I
why
felt like I didn't care about
I
because it
always
was
play
just discussion of
subtitles.
something, and I was like, I was reading subtitles too, but at some point I'm just like, I
Yeah.
already know what's going to happen here. I already know what
Mhm.
this is entailing. I don't need to hear what I'm already knowing. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we're done here. Like let's just move on. And
Yeah,
so I would do that.
you gotta stop doing those rap battles. The
I know.
flight,
I was
the
rapping. I was
flight, the
rapping.
flighting.
I'm a
Is
rapping. I'm a tapping. But
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
I mean, but I mean, it's
it,
again like it's a game you want to play and you want
yeah,
and you want to beat. So I get you, but like I think there was a point too, like when I was like, okay, I'm gonna play a long game, then I'll play a short game, then I'll play a long game. But now it's kind of like gone back to like I don't really know where I stand. I want to play a short game, but also a little longer game. It's tough. That's why I like to have a little extra games like on the side just in case, just kind of mess around with. But it's rough.
yeah.
It's tough out there for a gamer, dude. Because
I
again,
know. We make
the-
it
these linear
tough.
games are just so far in between now. It's not, and I think we're getting further away from that. It kind of feels like if unless it's an indie game, but you know what I mean. It's like it's kind of sad. I want more
Yeah.
linear. I do. I really do.
I'm excited for when I see a single player game that is gonna be about. It's not an open world. I think I'm a little bit more excited than playing a full open world game. I feel like every game now, for some reason, has to be open world or has to mimic what open world is. And I think it's like not everyone has to do it. Like let's calm down. Let's just make a single player list a linear game. Let's
Yeah,
get games that are just great and
but
great replayability. You know what I mean?
it goes back to your point though. Like now that game prices are most likely going to go up, you think developers they're going to be leaning more towards that, right? Say, well, now we got to make this game a little bit more worth it. But then again, that ruins the game more because they're spending more time on it. What
Yeah.
have you? Maybe for some, you know what I mean? So it's
That's the thing. I think they're gonna see. I think game development is gonna change overall. I don't think it's gonna stay the way it is now, where it's kind of stagnant, thinking that you need a 100+ hour game to be a $75 game. I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I think they're gonna cut costs in development, meaning like I told you about accessibility with like, oh, they want to do like if a player wants to play like this or wants to play like this. Not like accessibility, like with people who like colorblind or whatever. Not I'm talking about that. I'm talking about like if you wanted too much UI on your map or stuff like that. Things that I don't think you really truly need in a game. You could just figure it out in a more hand holding sort of thing. I think that's going to probably change up a little bit. That open world, like the Assassin's Creed Shadows thing we talked about, right? Where you can get I know some people like it, where you can collect dogs and cats and put them
Mm,
in your freaking little like
yes.
tower or whatever. It's like, who is that for? That is a waste of
The
resources. I know some
Nintendogs, the
people,
Nintendogs
but
generation.
exactly. But that's the thing is like, I know someone out there is going to be like, I love collecting these dogs. And it's like,
Well, that goes back to, Hogwarts Legacy. They have that whole section where you can just spend, and I've seen people spend some time up there and like make it look nice. And dude, I was like, no, I don't really care for this. Like, I don't
no,
want to spend that. But
I don't care either because
I
like,
think
yeah,
it's
at the end
just
of the
something for
day,
everyone.
yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's like you can't cater to always to everyone, Lex.
I
It's like
wonder.
it's like our well, I'll talk about this like our thoughts and our comments and the things that we discuss here on the YouTube gaming channel that we have. Checkpoint Reach if you want to subscribe.
Are all true. Okay.
Basically, no, but like we have our thoughts, and not everyone is going to agree with us. But we don't need to try to make everyone agree with us. You know what I mean? It is for certain person, and that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like Elden Ring. Elden Ring is for those people that like this type of Souls like games, or the difficulty of this and that and stuff like that. Like that's what that's built for. You're not supposed to make it for everyone. I don't think that's a thing. It's like everyone likes coffee different. Imagine Starbucks made
Just
the
one
same
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like
It's, I wanted to bring this up, and maybe this has been around for a while anyway, but do you think, you're talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, like make your base. I talked about Hogwarts Legacy. Do you think Animal Crossing, the popularity of that happened is why some developers are leaning towards that? Because like they saw how popular Animal Crossing is, they're like, let's try to get that crowd into these games and add these things. I just thought about it now because like I played Animal Crossing during the COVID times, and I was like, that's not typically my type of game, but I mean that was just like the game to play. It was like a whole new life, and I don't know. Thinking about it now, like you make your island, you make your house. It's like they're adding all these things in these games, and I'm like, man, I wonder if Animal Crossing had some kind of effect on that.
possibly, but also like I think Animals Crossing was just always a big game when that came
No,
out. You know what I
definitely
mean? So I don't know if that's what it was, but I think they're just trying to
too
get
much.
different gamers and doing too much. Yeah, I think they're trying to get because if they truly believed in their Animal Crossing thing in Assassin's Creed Shadows, they would probably show it off a lot more. And they would have
Yeah,
gotten all the content creators that they paid to promote the game to promote that. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think about this now too. I mean, again, talking about things that do too much. I think nowadays with the new, I think it's NBA. They added, like, and it's with the sports game as well, they add story modes now, and they used to not really have a story mode, but I remember someone was talking about an NBA game, they're like, "I don't wanna have to go to the store and go buy my shoes, like, just get me to the game, like, why is it making me do this world where I have to go do all this stuff?" It's like, that's just doing too much, like, come on, man, I just want some people are like, "I don't you don't get those games to do that," but some people like that, you know what I mean?
They do, but I think with that too is like it's a selling point because when you
Yeah.
are going to that, they're able to sell you VC, the virtual currency. You
Oh,
know
of
what I
course,
mean?
yeah.
Like, and then that's the thing about those games. It's like Call of Duty. One of the big selling points of that game is their kill cam. They put that kill cam not because you want to see how you died. Nobody wants to see how they died,
Yeah.
or where they got shot from, maybe.
"So
But
sorry I
at the
died."
end of the,
Mhm,
oh, sorry, I died. But at the end of the day, they want to see what gun did they kill me with, and why was it so fast, and why did it kill me with these laser shots?
mhm.
And that
"Can
is,
I buy that?"
yeah, can I buy that? And it's crazy because I know you probably don't know this, but there's going to be a patent coming out soon, or it's already probably out, and it's going to come to Call of Duty, where when you get killed by a kill cam, you're going to be able to add whatever they killed you with to your wish list. So when you do get out of the game,
Really?
you're going to be able to buy what they have because
Oh
they're
my.
essentially building the game so that those are the things that you want, which is kind of sad because
That is wild.
you're basically every time they release something, that is probably the next like meta weapon, but it's sold.
Seth Rogen
It
killing you with
isn't
the
earned.
bong gun.
Yeah,
Have you
exactly.
seen
It's
that
like
skin?
yeah, I did.
Seth Rogen.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's wild.
yeah.
I mean,
So
yeah, I mean, in the comments, ask us like, or let us know, like, do you guys care how long a game is, or is it about the experience? I mean, we really encourage the comments so we can talk about it next week on an episode as well. What is your sweet spot? What is a game you play that, or a game you played multiple times, or a game, that is like, I'm good with the 10 hours. It's this been enough. I don't know. We want to hear it. We would love to hear it. I don't know if there's anything else you have for this episode, Ernie. Is there anything you want to add?
No, I think my analogy for the coffee thing was kind of dumb. I'd have to come up with a better one for that one.
No, I
Cause
mean that was pretty good. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's like, yeah,
it, it,
I hear what you're throwing down.
maybe it's just like no, because then like Starbucks does have like one coffee, but it's like
No,
you could
but you're
change it up
saying
for
like if they were
everyone. You know
selling
what I
just
mean?
that's it. That's all they sold.
But yeah, but it's like the thing about the games is like that they're changing up things to appease to a certain crowd. I think the
No,
Starbucks coffee changes up so they can appease to that particular
true,
person, and
true.
that's as
Yeah,
I
I
was
guess I see what
wrong
you're saying.
stating. But it's just it's difficult to like kind of put into words what I'm trying to say. But that is the ordeal I feel like that we're dealing with is like we should be focusing on the particular type of
I
gamer because that is who is trying to go. I get it, bringing new people in, and I think that's why they added to Call of Duty and all that, like skill based matchmaking. So when you do get on there, you're not getting your ass whooped by someone who doesn't have a job,
yeah.
and all they do is play games, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I could say to add on to your coffee thing, maybe not the whole single coffee, but like they're doing so much with coffees now, right? They have so many different flavors because there's something for everyone, right? That's
Yeah,
where that's what you're trying to go for
I
more.
think that's even a little
They
better. Thank you.
appease
I
more to the
wasn't, but
crowd.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you fixing it for me.
Hey, I try to help. Dude. This is what we do.
Hey, I went
No
to the
edits here. Do
moon,
we
and
do
you
this
brought me back.
raw?
No, yeah. We're doing it live. You know that guy?
Do it
Go,
live. Yeah, we
fuck
do
it,
it
we're doing
live.
it live. Freaking
Yep.
Stewie. Oh, he makes fun of it, but
Yes.
the Family Guy. But yeah, no, dude, we've gone to the end of the episode, dude. I had
We
a
have.
blast talking about this. I think it was a really great topic. I had a lot of fun. As you stated before, or was it me? We have a hit in our hands. I'm just joking. I just wanted to say it. See what so I get that little laugh right there. But thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the episode. We appreciate it. Please, like Alexis stated, please follow us on YouTube and subscribe and
Instagram.
put some and Instagram, but please comment on the video. We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about length, about short games, about multiplayer, everything that you want to talk about. Put it on there. We'll talk about it in the next episode. We'll bring you up. I know last time we talked about one of the friends of the channel, Caesar, who was proposed a question to us. So just please follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram at checkpoint_reached. There, I and Lex will be there to answer any inquiries you might have. Please, like
We
I
do
said,
parties.
subscribe.
We do birthday parties.
We do. We just talk. Please follow us on YouTube, like I stated before, and we drop an episode every Friday. I think I might drop episodes every Thursday now, dude. I'm feeling a little frisky.
Oh,
Kind of
hey,
get a little bit more of
whoa.
the week going, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't know. You guys let us know in the comments. Maybe I'll just do it, and Lex won't know. Because I wait for Lex's description, but then he doesn't do it, and he gets in trouble.
I do it. You're a liar.
He does it. He does.
He lies to me. He lies.
You
He's
know,
so
I
good when
lie
he
for
jokes.
him.
He's so good when he jokes.
That's it.
Yeah, dude. Thank you all.
So good when he jokes.
We really appreciate it. Yes, like Ernie said, please subscribe to all our channels. We would love to hear from y'all. Thank you again. How long to beat? How long to hear? How long to listen? Tune in next week. Checkpoint reached. Goodbye.
Goodbye.